Why does the advice to be yourself ring so hollow, leaving you adrift when you try to follow it? Why, when you're urged to peel away the masks and reveal your true self, do you feel more lost, as if chasing a shadow that slips through your grasp? This mantra, endlessly echoed by self-help gurus, social media influencers, and well-meaning friends, isn't just unhelpful. It's a dangerous trap. Carl Jung, the visionary who charted the unlit corners of the human psyche, understood this through his concept of the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate the world's demands. Far from a barrier to authenticity, the persona is a vital tool, and the call to be yourself ignores the rich complexity of who you are. A dynamic interplay of roles, not a single, frozen essence. Today, we embark on a profound journey through Jung's lens to dismantle the myth of a singular true self and expose why be yourself is the worst advice you'll ever get. We'll uncover how the persona shapes your identity, why chasing authenticity can paralyze you, and how to wield your masks with purpose to forge a life of meaning and power. This isn't a call to forsake sincerity, but a map to navigate the tension between who you are within and who the world needs you to be. Prepare yourself. Jung's wisdom demands courage to embrace the many selves you carry and sculpt an existence that honors them all. The first lie of be yourself is that it assumes there's a single, unchanging self waiting to be uncovered. A notion Jung's psychology shatters with piercing clarity. In his work on the persona, Jung described it as the face you present to the world. A crafted identity, not a deception, but a necessary bridge between your inner chaos and the external world's expectations. The idea of a true self stems from romantic myths, like Rousseau's Noble Savage, suggesting your purest essence lies buried beneath societal layers. But modern psychology, through Daniel Dennett's concept of the self as a center of narrative gravity, reveals there's no fixed core, just a story woven from your roles, choices, and experiences. Neuroscience, like Antonio Damasio's research on somatic markers, shows your sense of self is shaped by social interactions, not an isolated truth. In ancient Rome, Cicero mastered this art, donning personas as orator, statesman, and philosopher to navigate a brutal political landscape. Had he clung to a true Cicero, he'd have been too rigid to survive Rome's betrayals and power struggles. Today, you feel this pressure on social media, where influencers preach authenticity while curating flawless feeds, or in job interviews, where you're forced to project confidence while wrestling with inner doubts. The call to be yourself ignores that different contexts demand different masks. To break free, question what yourself even means. Ask who benefits from this myth of a singular self. Notice how you shift personas at work, with friends or online, and embrace the persona as a tool to engage the world, not a cage to escape. But the advice doesn't just mislead, it paralyzes, trapping you in a futile quest for authenticity that stalls your life. Jung warned that over-identifying with a single self or rejecting the persona outright leads to stagnation as you wait for a perfect identity to emerge before acting. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindsets shows that fixating on a static self hinders progress, while embracing adaptability builds resilience. Your brain's neuroplasticity, as Norman Doidge's studies confirm, rewires through action and experience, not by uncovering a pre-existing truth. In Greek mythology, Proteus, the shape-shifting sea god, embodies this fluidity. He changes forms to evade capture, his power rooted in his refusal to be pinned to one true self. Had he frozen into a single form, he'd have been caught and powerless. In modern life, you see this when people delay starting a business, writing a book, or pursuing a passion, waiting to feel authentic first. On social media, the pressure to maintain a consistent personal brand locks you into a single role, stifling your growth as trends shift or your interests evolve. Instead, take action that aligns with your goals, even if it feels inauthentic at first. Start that project. Post that idea. Limit excessive self-reflection to avoid paralysis, and let your actions shape who you become, trusting that the doing defines you more than the pondering. The call to be yourself also blinds you to how your identity is sculpted by the world around you, not some inner sanctum. Jung saw the persona as a negotiation with the collective unconscious, society's shared norms and expectations that shape how you present yourself. Michel Foucault's work on power dynamics reinforces this. Your sense of self is molded by cultural scripts, not born in isolation. Lisa Feldman Barrett's neuroscience research shows that emotions and identity are constructed through social feedback loops, not an innate core. In the Renaissance, Queen Elizabeth I wielded this masterfully, crafting personas as virgin queen, warrior, and divine ruler to unify a fractured England. Had she insisted on a true self, she'd have faltered under the conflicting demands of court, church, and country. Today, platforms like Instagram push idealized archetypes. Think entrepreneur, minimalist, or spiritual guru. Making you feel your true self must fit these molds to be valid. In relationships, you might suppress parts of yourself to win a partner's approval, sacrificing your agency to feel authentic in their eyes. To counter this, identify the cultural scripts you're following. List the expectations you feel pressured to meet. Experiment with behaviors that defy these norms, like posting unfiltered thoughts or pursuing an unconventional hobby. Surround yourself with people who encourage your evolution, not those who demand you fit their vision of you. Clinging to be yourself doesn't just limit you. It makes you brittle, unable to bend in life's chaos. Jung taught that individuation, the journey to wholeness, requires balancing the persona with your inner depths, not discarding it for a mythical true self. Angela Duckworth's research on grit shows that adaptability, not a rigid self-concept, drives success, while your brain's stress response, governed by the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, thrives on flexibility, not fixation. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna urges Arjuna to act without attachment to a single identity, embracing his role as a warrior while letting go of ego-driven notions of a true self. Had Arjuna clung to one identity, pacifist or hero, he'd have been paralyzed on the battlefield. In modern life, tying your identity to a single role, parent, professional, artist, leaves you vulnerable when that role is challenged, like losing a job or facing a life transition. On social media, those obsessed with a cohesive, authentic persona struggle when followers demand change or trends shift. To build resilience, explore varied roles to diversify your identity. Try a new skill, volunteer, or lead a project. See setbacks as chances to adapt, not failures of authenticity, and release labels that box you in, letting your identity flex with life's demands. You now see the trap of be yourself. It's an illusion of a fixed self that breeds paralysis, a social construct that binds you to norms, and a fragile anchor that shatters under pressure. But this is only the beginning. Jung's wisdom offers a path to wield the persona with purpose, transforming it from a cage into a tool for self-mastery, a journey that demands courage to embrace your multiplicity and act with intention. The first step is to craft your persona consciously, not as a lie, but as a bridge to your goals. Jung saw the persona as a necessary mask, not a betrayal of authenticity, but a way to engage the world effectively. John Gottman's work on relationships shows that success comes from balancing self-expression with adaptation to others' needs, while Richard Davidson's mindfulness research suggests intentional self-presentation reduces stress by aligning actions with purpose. In the 20th century, Maya Angelou crafted personas as poet, activist, and performer, each amplifying her impact without losing her core. Her ability to adapt her mask to each stage, lectern, protest, or page, made her a force. In your life, shape a work persona that projects confidence, even when you feel uncertain, to seize opportunities like a promotion or pitch. On social media, curate a presence that reflects your aspirations, not just your current state. Post about your goals, not just your reality. Define the qualities your persona needs for a specific context. Like leadership or creativity, practice them deliberately in small ways and adjust based on feedback, ensuring your mask serves your growth, not society's script. Next, embrace the multiplicity of yourselves, recognizing that you are not one but many. Jung taught that the psyche is a chorus of voices: persona, shadow, anima, animus, and individuation weaves them into harmony, not choosing one over others. Joseph Ledoux's neuroscience research shows that integrating conflicting emotions builds resilience, while Jungian scholar Marie-Louise von Franz notes that embracing complexity unlocks creative energy. In Norse mythology, Loki, the trickster god, thrives by shifting between roles: ally, foe, hero, his power rooted in his refusal to be one thing. His fluidity lets him navigate chaos where a fixed self would falter. At work, balance ambition with empathy to become a leader who inspires trust, not just results. On social media, show both strength and vulnerability. Share a success and a struggle, to connect authentically with your audience. List the roles you play, from professional to friend to dreamer. Experiment with expressing their contradictions and see this multiplicity as a source of strength, not a flaw to resolve. You must also align your persona with your inner values, ensuring it reflects your evolving purpose, not just external demands. Jung saw the persona as a tool for individuation when it serves your deeper truth, a view Viktor Frankl's existential psychology supports, showing that meaning comes from living by self-chosen values. Andrew Huberman's neuroscience research confirms that goal-directed actions calm the brain's stress response, grounding you in purpose. In the 19th century, Frederick Douglass crafted a persona as an orator to fight slavery, aligning it with his mission of justice while navigating a hostile society. His speeches weren't just performances. They were his soul's truth in action. In your career, let your professional mask amplify your values, like integrity or innovation, rather than bending to corporate norms. On social media, create content that reflects your purpose: education, inspiration, or advocacy, not just what gets likes. Write a mission statement for your life. Shape your persona to embody it in every interaction, and regularly check if your actions align with that core, refining your mask to stay true to your evolving self. Finally, evolve your persona as you grow, treating it as a dynamic tool, not a fixed identity. Jung saw individuation as a lifelong process of renewal, shedding outdated masks to reflect your changing self. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's flow theory shows that growth comes from engaging fully in the present, adapting as you evolve, while Norman Doidge's neuroplasticity research confirms that your brain rewires through new experiences, not by clinging to a static state. In the 20th century, David Bowie reinvented his persona. From Ziggy Stardust's cosmic rebel to the Thin White Duke's sleek artist, each iteration mirroring his evolving artistry and keeping him relevant. In your life, update your persona as you take on new roles: parent, entrepreneur, student, letting it reflect your current goals, not past versions of you. On social media, refresh your content to mirror your growth, sharing new passions instead of clinging to an old image. Reflect monthly on how your persona serves your path. Experiment with new ways of presenting yourself, like a bold post or a new style, and embrace change as a sign of vitality, not instability. You now hold Jung's map to reject the hollow advice of "be yourself" and wield the persona as a tool for self-mastery. The myth of a singular self-trapped Cicero in Rome's deadly politics bred paralysis in Proteus's need for fluidity, was shaped by Elizabeth Firker's defiance of cultural norms and fostered fragility that Krishna freed Arjuna from in battle. Through Jung's tactics, you can craft a conscious persona, as Maya Angelou did across her roles. Embrace your many selves, like Loki's shape-shifting power. Align your mask with your values, as Douglas did in his fight for justice. And evolve dynamically, as Bowie did through his reinventions. These 8 principles weave a system, a diagnosis of the trap, and a path to wield your masks with purpose. But a solemn warning: this knowledge is a double-edged blade. It can liberate or deceive if misused. Use it to navigate the world with intention, balancing who you are with who you must be. True individuation crafts a life where your persona serves your soul, not society's script. In the comments, share which of these principles feels hardest to embrace and why. If this journey of self-mastery resonates, subscribe to keep exploring the psyche's depths. And if this wisdom sparks something in you, your like signals it must reach more minds.